She began introducing the boys one by one. There was Trev, son of Vultus and Marnie. He was tall and lean like his father, with a broad face and a flat nose. His hands were balled into huge fists at his waist, as he stood proudly before his people. I didn't much care for him, but I cheered nonetheless. Like it or not, I would see more of him on the journey ahead. There was also Yuri, son of Laz and Pina, and Vren, son of Kar and Esta. Yuri was a short, frazzled-looking character, with wild dark hair and golden eyes. He was always happy and vibrant, wearing a smile wherever he went. He loved to talk more than anything. Vren was a bit shorter than me, with close-cut blonde hair and a round face that made his chin look both pudgy and pronounced. He was a friendly sort, but didn't much care for the company of the twins. He didn't look the least bit comfortable taking center stage with his age mates, fingers twitching about at his sides, eyes wild and weary. After Beatrice's words, Vren dashed off the stage, all but tripping on his way. Beatrice addressed the Devai. Tonight the house of Shemayin offers a remarkable pair of twin brothers to embark on the Eliot as well, Cass and Pol, born of Raquel, daughter of Darius the Great, and Archon, the healer. As she spoke, two figures emerged at either side of the stage. Each wore an elaborate headdress decorated in golden-brown feathers like those of the great eagle that represented their house. Hooked beaks protruded down over their carefully painted faces. It was nearly impossible to distinguish the twins through the feathery costumes. More feathers covered their chests and shoulders. Some even dangled from ties along their arms. Their extremities had been painted with a feathery texture, leaving one twin mostly blue and the other white. It was difficult to tell which was which, though I was quite sure Pol was the blue. These brothers represent their house well, now standing as the youngest members to take the stage. The two have worked tirelessly in their preparation, offering an exhibition of skill to honor tonight's festival with an age-old tale retold. Brothers and sisters all, I present to you the battle for the heavens, Beatrice announced, arms swinging wide in presentation before she bowed and stepped back from the stage. The drums came to life, thumping a steady rhythm as the twins took their positions on the stage. Once the two were in place, the thumping of the drums rose to a crescendo before dropping to an abrupt halt. Each twin was approached and presented with a set of daggers, real daggers. The silvery sheen of the blades glistened as they hissed through the air upon demonstration. The awestruck reactions from the audience reflected my own. All of Reisenbow was watching. The twins had our attentions. The drums picked up once more, this time accompanied by the faster, higher timbre of the full ensemble, creating a lively drive in the air. The rhythm beat from the drums carried into the stomping movements of the twins as they danced and moved in time. The melody rose above the rhythm as the two eagles circled in opposition. As they moved round, they began to tighten their orbit, winged arms spread, daggers in hand. When the two met, they at once began exhibiting their skills, twirling and slashing at one another before all of Reisenbow. They moved in perfect sync with the music. Skill and precision were on point, the two narrowly avoiding the bite of the blades that nipped at the feathers along their chests. Already they had won the crowd, as gasps and wonderment accented each flurry of swipes and dives. The two met one another with a kick just as the cymbals crashed. Each staggered back, putting distance between them as the music carried like the wind beneath their wings. The two approached one another, feet dancing about and feathered arms held wide like wings at flight. They circled around the center, squared for battle. The drums were accented with cries from the drummers, adding to the climactic tension of the scene. Suddenly, one of the twins lunged his blade hard at the other, sending feathers free into the air. The audience gasped as the other narrowly dodged the blade and delivered his own attack, which sent his offender back with a series of lightning flash slashes and jabs. The stage was a colorful flurry of flips, feathers, and silvery slashing blades. I was on my feet before I realized. With each bout of slashes and narrow acrobatic escapes, my heart skipped. I knew they were skilled, but it was still nerve-wracking to know these two idiots had been entrusted to perform with real weapons. They were fantastic, and as I watched the two of them, it reminded me of a similar display I'd witnessed years before. For a moment my memory took me back, as the figures moved across the brightly lit stage. Mother was dressed in similar garb as the twins, except for her feathers had been black, and she wore no such headdress. Her flowing black hair had been decorated with black feathers and glinted in the light as she flipped about, slashing at my father with wicked precision. My father was the embodiment of the dove, wearing thick fur about his arms and torso, the head of the creature resting atop his own. He would take great swipes at her with his short sword, as she eluded his attacks and fluttered about him in a flurry of silver swipes. The two moved across the stage in all manner of slashing acrobatics, sending the crowd into excitement just as the twins were doing now. Their performance was an honorable homage to those before them. As the drums pounded on, the white eagle lunged toward the blue. The blue countered and avoided 3 dizzying slashes before sending a few of his own. The white pushed the blue off balance and down onto one knee, which the white used to step up and flip back through the air as an incoming slash from the blue shaved a few golden feathers free of the headdress. The White Eagle landed safely on his feet, guard ready. The Blue had risen and was readied as well. The two continued to dance about the stage, circling one another as the crowd cheered them on. The anticipation had most everyone on their feet now. The twins were really putting on quite a show. With every bout of slashing theatrics, the crowd reeled. Suddenly the drums changed rhythm, picking up fury for what was surely to be the finale. The twins changed their dance, circling once more with stamping steps before parting to either side of the stage. They turned to one another. The Blue Eagle raised its wings high, standing on one leg, the other held up as if to signify the impending attack, with a bent knee aimed for the White Eagle. The White Eagle crouched low, wings splayed and daggers readied at the Blue. In a flash, the two charged together, leaping high into the air as they met, daggers readied. I nearly fell forward, resisting the urge to race to the stage as they clashed past one another, mid-air with the zing of steel blades. Each landed where the other had been before the jump, turning on one another in a wild slashing fury that left the crowd silent in awe. The drums pounded with their strikes. Cries rose from the drummers, accenting the slashing blur of white and blue. Just as it seemed they might destroy one another if it continued, the two shot apart and the drums slammed to a finish. The two eagles turned to the audience and bowed, as cheers erupted around the stage. The two had simply been amazing. I felt proud to call them my brothers, as I too raised my voice in celebration.